Hello everyone and welcome to the next to another episode of Tech Show with Daryoush. My name is Daryoush, your host, and our guests are Kurt Roskopf and Robert Blakely. Uh, Tonight I have some news for you about the internet problem which affected most of the places, most of the countries, and it has caused so many problems for many people. As you can see in my screen, there is a huge internet outage in the US, West Canada, Spain, Portugal, France, United Kingdom, Germany, and in general, most of the Western European countries, southeast of Australia, and this has caused so many problems for the people, especially for those who need to check the performance of their websites all the time and doing the SEO, and they cannot get the correct results. This is the problem because uh, no matter, even if your server is located in a in a in an area which is not affected by this outage, there is a very high chance that the connection between your server and the Google server, for example, or another service provider that provides performance tests, there might be some problems, some issues, and you cannot get the correct results. So for the developers and SEO people, you must be patient for during this time until the problem is solved. Talking about the SEO, there is a circle between the SEO, the security, the sales, and return of the clients. Sales is a very important issue because, especially at this point, these days that we are on it is a pandemic and most of the businesses are doing their business online. They need to keep their business running, keep their clients, and find new clients. And why the security for these websites are important? It's simple. If your website is not secure, is not safe, your client's information might be stolen. Your client's card data must be compromised. Your client's profile must be compromised. And not just you lose your clients, they lose uh, maybe so many things. So you must keep your business safe and secure. Some people think that no, I have a backup, and whatever happens, I will restore a backup. First of all, how can you find out that your website has been hacked or not? Hackers do not change the homepage so that you can find it is hacked. And if you get a message from the Google or another service provider that your website is distributing malware, this is not something that happened a few minutes ago or 10 minutes ago or 1 hour ago or one day or 1 week ago. Sometimes your website might be scanned after 3 months, unless you are doing a paid service that scan your websites regularly every few hours, make sure you have a clean service. And all your efforts for finding new clients, new market, can be lost easily. And talking about the sales and the clients, new market, new targets. Since last week, we started a new series of talks about the sales, online and internet sales. And my friend Robert Blakely started the talk, this discussion, and let's see what he has to talk about for us today. Robert, thank you for joining us. The microphone is yours.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
That my internet connection isn't doing very well. There's apparently a bunch of outages there. Are you able
That's
to hear
because
me
of
okay?
the internet outage, and probably if you disable your camera and only enable it when it is needed, you save
Okay.
your bandwidth and can we have less interruptions in your audio.
Okay, so are you able to hear me okay then?
Yes?
Awesome. All right. Just want to make sure that we're getting through clear. Yeah, today, since first off, I didn't know the information that you just shared with us, Daryoush, so thank you. I appreciate that. At least now I know I won't be going nuts if things start slowing down when I'm trying to do anything on the internet. I was just thinking to myself, as far as the topic today, because we are starting with this series. I'm not sure how many episodes that you're gonna ask me to be up here for, but I appreciate it to be able to talk to the public and share some wisdom. Today, I just wanted to talk about planting the seed, especially for the entrepreneurial space. I know that some people that may be watching this could use this information. And it actually came from a video that I created many years ago, back when I started into network marketing. And I was living in Florida at one time, and we grew some sunflowers. So they grew literally taller than I was. And, of course, we harvested them so that we had the sunflower seeds. And I thought to myself, I said, man, this is pretty great. We can use this analogy for business, right? But also for in our personal life. So when it comes to sales and sales psychology, and when we talk about planting the seed, we first off have to plant the seed within ourselves, right? Because when you hear me talk, you'll hear me speak about the people that come into the marketplace, and most of them not having the proper knowledge needed to succeed, and then ultimately failing and saying that it doesn't work, right? But if you have the seed planted in yourself first, like for example, for myself, I knew many years ago that I was going to do something in the online realm. I knew that I was going to continue on in sales, and I knew eventually I would get to where I wanted to be. Right. So I had that seed planted in me. But when you look at the analogy of the sunflower and its seeds itself, coming from the planting the seed side of things, you have to be able to learn and talk to other people and be able to plant the seed with people for whatever it is that you're trying to promote or sell to somebody, right? And virtually the best thing to do, obviously, is find your target market, which we've talked about that before. But even though you go out there and you plant those seeds, and I recommend that you plant many of them, because not all of those seeds are going to come to fruition, right? So what ends up happening in any business that you try to grow, especially in the online world, is you'll plant those seeds, and let's say you get 10 people that actually join you. Well, there's only going to be a small percentage of those 10 people that will actually take action and do something with said business, right? So in essence, what I'm saying is that once you plant that seed and you have people coming and you have people that are growing, you want to ideally focus on those seeds that are actually growing and doing something within your business. And another way that I like to put it, is when you have people coming into your business, just as if you're working a team of salespeople, you want to be able to have the identity between your A reps, your B reps, and your C reps. It's the same thing with people that are in your business, especially in network marketing, right? Your A be the ones that actually are at all the meetings. They take part of everything. They actually talk to people. They'll share their link. Then you have your B reps that maybe not so much, or they'll do part of the work, but not all of the work. And then you have your C reps that won't do anything. Well, in essence, you want to focus on those A reps that are sprouting, because then those seeds that are sprouting are going to plant more seeds, right? So then those people will bring those seeds in. And ultimately, again, it's working with those top reps. And then your next mission is to work with your B reps and take those B reps to A reps. And the way you do that is simply find out what their shortcomings are. What are they running into? How can you help them? And then ultimately, after that, you want to work on your C reps and make those C reps into B reps. But again, this is something that's not typically explained in the network marketing business, or coming from this type of angle, because I like to teach things that, people typically don't teach. But when you learn how to plant the seed with people, you can even go as far as what I like to do is try to pre-build a business, right? To give you an example, I recently joined a business with the top network marketer, and I've talked to a female yesterday about it. Found out that she was already in a business that I was in, and then ultimately found out that she was looking for a health and wellness type business. So I simply planted the seed with her. I told her that I was connected with this person. Asked, used third party, asked if she knew that person. She said absolutely. He's got a great reputation. And I just simply planted the seed, right? So now I'm going to let that seed grow a little bit. And in the next few days, I'll go back and I'll nurture that seed, right? But if you don't plant those seeds and you don't nurture those seeds, then your business will never grow. So that's my 2 cents, my little philosophy there. Namaste. Hope you take it in good faith and find some value in it.
Well done, Robert. So, what do you think of that, Daryoush?
That's good. That was interesting. Uh, what do you think about it, Kurt? Do you have any idea, any opinion about this?
Well, yeah, I mean, it all speaks to truth. I mean, it's all easy to take in when you just talk, facts of life and reality of business and personal goals. That, it's like talking about seeds. Farmers know that, farming is an everyday thing, 365 days a year to make a success of reaping what you sow and all that. So, for sure, it is important. Like thinking of innovation, like thinking of technology. When we bring stuff out into the marketplace, we can come up with any example we want. They always say you've got your innovators, your early adopters, and then your laggers. So yeah, the way Robert was speaking to plant enough seeds and some will never come to fruition no matter how hard we try. A lot of times people will come right out and say for their product or service, it isn't for everybody. They'll just address that right off the bat and just, make it like we're not in the convincing business. And yeah, and the key is in the follow up. So, yeah, plant a lot of seeds and pay attention. They always talk about low hanging fruit. So just plant a lot of seeds, cultivate every seed out there, and the ones that are growing good, make sure you don't lose that crop, or that progress that you
The,
made with the person.
the thing I want to draw attention to, honestly, guys, is, in my experience, I don't run into too many people that have had the ability or the knowledge or have actually ran teams of people. You know what I'm saying? So myself having that experience, it's a little easier for me to identify building an online business, from my experience with an offline business. And a lot of people not having that experience should be able to take that and say, okay, well, that's actually pretty great information, because just like I talk about in the training series of videos that you've been a part of, Kurt. You know, there's different types of customers that we don't know about, but if you take and you learn these specific things, it makes it a little bit easier for you. So if somebody can identify, oh, well, I'm building an online business. Yes, these are people coming in on my business, but I need to treat them as if they were employees. I'm not saying that you can rule over them, obviously, because you're not physically paying them. But at the same time, if you can get their buy-in, they will work not for themselves, but also for you. So it's important for you to identify those people, or in essence, the leaders, right? And work with those leaders in such a fashion that they do help you share the word, and then go back to those B reps and try to make them leaders, and then go to the C reps and get them to B reps. But it's all a step process, right? Because you can't take a C rep to an A rep like that. That's not going to happen, right? So there's steps that are involved to try to identify what the issues are with your C reps and your B reps to get them to those other levels. You know what I'm saying? That's important to identify with.
Yeah, and I think what you bring to this, Robert, is, with what they say out there, the high touch to go with the high tech. I'm going to say, because this is the tech show. So, Daryoush and Robert, maybe bring out that as we talk about these realities in the people business, and kind of forming teams or whatever, speak to how technology enters into it. It's like in prospecting or just marketing through online. They talk about dripping. Just have quick, simple messages. Just accomplish a little nugget, a little drip at a time, and then you'll fill your basin by just dripping on them. And so there's these systems that can work off of their email address. People are using SMS systems. You know, I would like to hear you two kind of speak to that part of it, because business people are looking for systems that automate the process so that so that they can bring in profits and take care of people better too through technology. What do you guys think of that?
Well, in
I
our,
can speak.
go ahead,
Go ahead.
Robert.
I just my 2 cents that I could put in on that is, first off, understand I do things a little bit old fashioned because I come from a direct marketing world. So because of the fact that I'm not afraid to talk to people, I have this art of communication. I'm not afraid to go out there and talk to people. So systems obviously are very important, especially now in today's society. However, I think Darius and I have had this conversation before. Bots are great, and they're obviously something that's really working very well for people right now. The only problem that I see with that is that the people that are creating the bot, especially if they don't know what they're doing, are creating the wrong message to begin with, if that makes sense. Like I've seen bots that are out there that they're just not very personal at all. They don't build any type of relationship. So all those systems are great, right? There's still nothing wrong with the old systems that have been in play if you know how to utilize those. For example, I was talking to another friend the other day and saying that blogs still work, guys. Like the old school methods still work. We're in this process of every time that we move forward with technology is always trying to get better, 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 right? But those old platforms like WordPress is still out there. It will still get you having that blog and having the interaction of your group or your followers or your tribe is going to be very, very important, right? So even if you do go to those systems, which they're great, again, don't get me wrong, you need to make sure that any of those bots that you're using to set up are actually geared more towards psychology, to actually building that relationship with the person before trying to send them information that's useless. And I'll give you an example so that you truly understand what I mean. And I won't mention any names, but there's a high level internet personality, is what I'll call him, that as soon as I friended him through Facebook, I immediately went to a bot series, and I knew it was a bot series. So for me, number one, hey, I get it, the guy is busy, but it's not very personal at all. So that bot sends me to a video that I can watch to read about his new book that they just launched. So to me, I don't know. I still again go with the old philosophies of building that relationship, building value, building trust with the person, and giving them so much value that they can't help but buy from you, right? But when you go and you put a bot in there and immediately you send me to something that I may not have any interest in before finding out anything about me, it's just going to be a complete turnoff. And we've said this many times before, especially myself being in my background, you never ever ever get a second chance to make a first impression. It will not happen. So now, even though I see this guy, he's this brilliant guy and everybody loves him, I have a different perception of that person. So somebody might come to me and, oh, have you heard of blah 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 blah? Yeah, great, you know. So my perception of him, and going back to what we were talking about, planting the seed, it's not growing with me, bro. You know what I mean? It's not growing. So it it ties in perfectly to what we were just talking about with planting the seed. So that's my two thoughts. At least make sure that if you have those systems in play, they're designed in such a way to think about the psychology behind it, to get people on board, build the relationship first, give value, then go for some type of sale.
I believe the old, about the part that you said you're old school and use old methods that still work. Uh, Actually, I believe the reason that old methods work better is that uh, those who do those who follow those old people who do follow those old methods, they follow human interaction rules, and those who do not follow it, they just think of, okay, I'm sending this email, I'm sending this message on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on this network, and they expect to have an immediate result. So many times I miss messages because I have so many contacts. Sometimes, and I have seen people that when I ask them, did you do that? They said, yeah. Okay, did you follow up? No, why? Just because you sent a message and it was sent over the internet, it doesn't mean that you are done. You have to follow it up. Maybe someone misses the message. Maybe someone has other priorities at that moment that you were sending the message. You just took a look at it and then forgot it. But when you follow it up, maybe in another situation, he is free, takes a look. Oh, that's interesting. That I let's talk with that guy and see what get more information. Old methods requires follow up, requires human interaction, and work better. Technology just speed up the process, but it doesn't mean that you need to change everything. Adapt yourself with adapt old methods with the new technology and make the best use of it. This is what I believe was people must do.
Yeah, I think at the outcome of it,
I completely agree with that.
oh, go ahead, Rock.
I was just gonna say I completely agree with that. Not to step over you, Kurt. And the big thing that you'll hear me tout about is that we have to understand that we're in the business of people. Like you have to get good at people. You know that's the main thing. You have to get good at people. That's why those old school tactics, if you will, still work, right? Because we know and we understand people. So my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's good because I think in our professional work and in our businesses with our products, we have a pride, or maybe we're proud, or maybe what keeps us going is the value we know we're delivering to other people. So I think the art form there is how well we're placing that value with the person and on the terms of the other person, to the point of maybe even thinking about the testimonials we have gotten. So basically, when somebody gives us a great testimonial, that becomes the thing to replicate with other people then. So as we build those new relationships, we can always kind of think like, okay, how are we developing that rave review with that person, that if we empathize with them, like how we're delivering what we do and then they receive what we do, are we giving them the experience that they would perceivably want to provide us a rave review? Not to say that that's our ulterior motive to do it, but I just frame it that way. It might, help bring out the point that we're speaking
Hey, by the way, what you just did there, Kurt, is you planted the seed, baby.
to. There we go. That's right.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Unfortunately, our time is almost over. Uh, in which I believe we have to continue this discussion on the next week and see what other topics and subjects Robert will have for us too. Uh, Robert has some trainings, as far as I know. For more information, you can go to his website and and see, maybe you can. I don't know what. I haven't seen it, the new updated website of Robert yet. I think it's almost finished, right?
I'll tell you 2 things that's funny. The name is misspelled, first off, but that's not a big deal. I need to fix my capture form that's on there, because the one that I threw up, I threw it on there. I threw it on there yesterday, realizing that it goes to the campaign that I did last year for the sales psychology, where I was charging a monthly thing. But give me, I would say 24 hours, but it's Blakely. Blakely. Robert Blakely.
Okay.
Well, look at that instant correction. I like it.
See,
Okay.
that's what I love about Daryoush. He's a doer.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and talk to you next week. Have a good weekend and stay safe.
Thanks, Daryoush. Thanks, Robert.
Bye.
Choo choo. Love you. Bye bye.